got it. Hop on a dick, I made her get excited. This pussy off limits for lame niggas. Yeah, fuck me like you got some pain in you.
YN finally arrived at her new home in the city. She was tired from the long journey, but relieved to finally have a place to stay. She walked into her room, carrying her bags. The room was cozy and had a welcoming feel to it. She started unpacking her things, placing clothes in the closet, and setting up her desk. As she was arranging her books, her phone rang. It was her mother. After settling into her room, she decided to explore the rest of the house. She wandered through the corridors. The house was large with high ceilings and beautifully decorated rooms. She admired the paintings on the walls and antique furniture that gave the house a warm, inviting feel. As she took a turn, she found herself in a long hallway with several doors. Curious, she began peeking into each room. She was engrossed in her exploration that she didn't notice someone approaching. He was always like this. As he was now gone, she felt relieved, but then wondered what her time in this house would be like, especially with him around. The next morning, the house was filled with the smell of freshly brewed coffee and cooked breakfast. YN made her way to the dining room where Jungkook's parents were already seated at the table. Jungkook was there too, looking a bit groggy. They all settled down for breakfast. As they ate, casual conversation filled the room. Mr. Jung glanced at Jungkook, then at YN. Later that morning, YN arrived at college. She was walking towards her first class when she noticed Jungkook standing with a group of friends near the entrance. She quickly looked away. Jungkook, on the other hand, was equally avoiding any interaction. He pretended to be deeply engaged in conversation with his friends, keeping his back to her. YN let out a silent sigh of relief as she managed to walk past him without drawing any attention. She headed straight to her first class, choosing a seat at the back corner of the room, away from everyone else. She has always been quiet, and him, on the other hand, very popular. As students started filling in, YN kept her head down, focused on her notebook. When Jungkook entered the classroom, he immediately scanned the room and saw her. He chose a seat on the opposite side, making sure there was a good distance between them. How funny it was, they wouldn't even care to notice each other, but now it was so obvious. Throughout the lecture, YN tried to concentrate, but she could feel Jungkook's occasional glances in her direction. She kept her eyes fixed on the professor, determined to ignore him. During the break, YN left the classroom quickly, hoping to avoid any awkward encounters. She found a quiet spot outside and took a deep breath, trying to calm her nerves. Why was she feeling this way? She didn't know, but it was indeed different, and living with him in the same house was crazy. Meanwhile, Jungkook stayed inside, chatting with his friends and avoiding any mention of the new girl living in his house. To their surprise, Wyan's friend Stella had already spread this breaking news. Not just in the class, but whole campus knew, as she had seen Wyan coming out of his house when she picked her up this morning. While Jungkook couldn't help but feel irritated by the whole situation, everyone looked at him as if he has been doing something illegal. When lecture resumed, Wyan returned to her seat, still trying to keep her distance. As the class went on, both she and Jungkook made an effort to act like the other didn't exist. After the class ended, Wyan quickly gathered her things and left, heading straight to her next class. She hoped that this awkward morning just pass away. After a long day at college, Wyan and Jungkook arrived home, expecting to find Jungkook's parents. To their surprise, the house was empty. Jungkook pulled out his phone, noticing a missed call from his mother. He dialed back and, after a brief conversation, hung up with a sigh. Since he was talking nicely and could cook, it was a win-win situation for her. After they finished cooking, Wyan sat on the counter, her legs dangling. Jungkook focused on plating the food and casually offered her a spoonful of pasta. Just like that, a month passed. She was now quite comfortable at his place, but the only problem was him getting under her skin. He irritated the hell out of her. Sometimes would come in her room unannounced and steal her notes. It was one of those nights when she was looking for her notes to study, and they were missing.